Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Um, Today I want to start with our new newsletter. We will try to make a video every time we create a new product to show you what is inside it in detail. So today we have these two kits that those boxes are quite the same, and from the side we have two different codes. So this is the detail app for the Delta S4 Tarmac, and is now being updated on the website, and we have it in stock. And this one is detail app always for the Delta S4, but in gravel version. So we have the gravel tires and everything. So I want to show you today in detail the first one and then the second one with with a couple improvements that we made from the step 1 to this one, that is the step 2. So let's open the first box. Once we open, we have, as previous, two stacks of parts. They are closed, so I'm not going to open this right now. And then we have a small bag, a QR code that you can use to have all the information, some reference pictures on your phone. And then we have the instructions. Instructions now coming in colors, so they will be a little bit easier to understand, and I will show you how to read them. So first of all, I want to show you everything from the instructions. So I'm going to move this aside. And let's start with the instructions. The first page is the content of everything. Everything should be marked, and this should be. We have, as you see, battery, hubs, rims, alternator, some expansion tanks, the header of the engine, the air exhaust, ventilators. So then we have a cap for the expansion tank, for the liquid tank. Then we have two small radiators, spark plugs, alternator belt, and so on. This is the full list, and to read this sheet, you should do like this. First, open this page, and you have first step and second step. The first step is about the engine. So here are all the modified parts and everything that should be modified. Please be careful that this part, this step, is meant to be done onto this side of the engine, because Aoshima made the engine, Aoshima BMAX, yeah, pretty much the same, made this mistake. So they decided to put the exhaust in the middle of the engine, but it's wrong. It should be placed in here, in the top part that we are going to remove, so you don't have to drill your holes, and also you will have the attachment point for the alternator belt. Here, be careful, we have to remove this part. The red part should be removed and trashed. We have to place the alternator, the alternator, the alternator belt, and this is the spark plug connection. This is how it should look. So the alternator belt should be angled like this. Second step is the turbo. Turbo should be completely removed and substituted with the one we have in the kit. This one is a small clamp to fix the exhaust to the main frame. Then you turn the pages and you have the third step. Here you see where you should fix the small clamp to keep the exhaust in place. This was very helpful for my own creation. Here we have the two this radiator, and this is the an ECU where we have to apply one of the two small decals that are included, and it should go right on top of the pre-molded ones. You don't even have to cut it away. We made a slot underneath so you can just place it in place. This part goes directly onto the frame, so no modifications needed. Same, this radiator goes one in the back and is the gearbox one, and then we have a front one. I'm not really sure what is cooling, but there is one in the front. There is then the battery that goes underneath the spare tire, and here we have the two tanks. BMX forgot to place to include the second tank, fuel tank. The Delta S4 has two, they made only one, and we provided two caps, so if you want to remove the one on the driver's seat, behind the driver's seat, you can remove it and replace with the one with this one that will be the same on both sides. This one goes in place very easily. This is the oil tank. The oil tank should go instead of the photo etched one, and there is no oil tank in the basic kit without the photo etching detail up. For the tires, the wheels, we have a spare wheel that goes there. They will all mount on kit tires for the Tarmac version. You can choose from two different types of hubs. In fact, we have a thicker one and a medium one and a very thin one. The very thin one should be used on the back. The very thick and the medium one are meant for the front tire. Actually, the Delta S4 had the front tire quite inside of the body, but it may look not so pleasant for many. So we decided to use an hub with like a spacer, so it should be look more aggressive. It's up to you what you use. Then we have here the first two small magnets to be used, 8 in total, 2 per each tire. They are meant to keep the ventilators in place. With the digital file, you can zoom in and check better if you need. Here we have some words about how to use these magnets. You just glue one in the middle of the hub, place the tire before. I suggest you to place the rim before on the hub, glue with channel glue the first magnet, then insert the small magnet inside our ventilator. There is a small slot, and I will show you later, and apply both, and you can just snap it onto the tire without gluing it. Same on the back. Then we have to open. So we have 6 and 7. Step 6 is about the additional night lamps, and they are placed using magnets. 2 magnets goes onto each slot of the two main frames, main body of the lamps, and then keeping them in place with your hands or a little bit of taping or whatever you feel like, you have to glue with channel the two magnets inside the body. Doing so, this will keep in place the two small magnets that once the channel glue is dried, they will stay like that. And you can snap the lights on without gluing anything. So you can just pop them on and out. And last step is about the windows. We made pre-cut smoked windows for you, and this is the rear air duct. You may need to use some putty and some filing to make this underneath part a little bit better, because we have 3D printing supports here, and that was pretty much the only way. But this is completely hollow and will look very natural. Be also careful, because some broke during rework, and you may want to add a little bit of plastic in the middle just to make it a little strong. We didn't have to do that, but if you feel better or if it breaks, you may need to add a little more there. Then, as you see, this is all steps. We have looked at them all. This is the full sheet. Then you just close it, and let's start looking at parts. This is the small box, the small bag. Inside the small bag, let me see where it opens. We have two metal wires, black and red. They are good for batteries. They are good for spark plugs and all that kind of stuff. So there is quite enough to do some detailing. Then we have the windows. These may need to be popped out. Some already came out, but using your toothpick or something, you just pop them out. See, they're cut on both sides. This is the rear one. Then we have two side windows. They are tinted and they should look very good. Then we have this wire. It's 1mm wire. It's a ribbon, and you can just use some silver and then maybe some smoke, and it will absolutely look like a braided hose, and it's very soft, so you can bend it and do whatever you feel like. With channel it will attach, so, and you can also, before cutting it, you can use a drop of channel glue and cut just in the middle once it's dry, so it will not like open up like it is here. You can maybe see exactly. And then we have the small decal sheet. One is for the battery, and one is for the additional ECU. Is Maniganti Marelli. And then the 16 small magnets. You see, they are 1mm magnets, and that's it. One suggestion when using magnets is to paint with permanent marker one side of each when they are still together. If you mark each side with black, for example, you will always have to put black against silver, for example, so you will not mess up with magnetic directions. Then let's start with the first set of parts. Here we have the biggest part, that is the air duct. As you see, is absolutely hollow. You can see through it, and you see there are details. This part should be covered in Kevlar or fiberglass. That should be absolutely perfect. Here you will need to fight it a bit, but yeah, it is quite strong, and it can be used very easily. You just pop them in and use maybe some PVA glue to keep it attached to the car. Second, we have this part. This is the an oil tank, and this has been modified since the first version, and now it should go better when assembling, because before some had to remove some material, others just made it like we did, and now it should be absolutely easier and more accurate when assembling it. Then we have the night pods. We have these two. We have the lamps that comes out. On the other side we have the two slots for the magnets, and they just go onto the front of the car without problems. We have the right and the left. We have both of them. And then we have all the rims. There are 5, so you also have the spare one. This is the front one. It is quite very accurate. We have also the side holes all around. We have our system of split hub, and we'll make it the decoration very easy. And then we have the ventilators. Ventilators will need to be cleaned a little, and what you do is to remove the connections between the spokes, so to have them outside. We have to keep this because we have to clean each one, and without this it will be very easy to break them. So we just keep it, and with like a cutter or a plier, you just remove them. It's very easy. Was the front one, and we have the hub. The hub just goes in from the back. Wait. As you see, so you can paint it in silver before and apply it on, and you can always you can choose to glue this the rim to the hub, or keep it like removable as you wish. Then we have the rear one. Rear one has a thicker ventilator because it goes in a little bit more, but you should make sure that this is coming out only a little bit, not too much. You will always have to clean this, as I said before, but it should come a little bit more inside than this. It's now not going any deeper because we have the supports here to be removed. And we go, will hit the bolts. Is a 2-piece, so you can easily paint it and decorate it. So this part should be made in chrome, and this part should be made in white. Then it just goes in and you're done. Last part that we have here is the alternator. Previously it was like this, but now we fixed it a bit and we improved the design, so it looks like this. It is now looking a little bit better. It is the second modification that we made, and this just gets to be glued like here in the engine, and here goes the alternator belt. Second and last, we have all the engine parts plus the helmets. We decided to include some helmets because they are quite a nice touch, and we have two jabs like helmets, and these were very common on most Delta S4. And we also have a Simpson M62, so you can use them in together to make the racing team that you have in your decals. And we have the ECU, the additional ECU. That is like this. Here goes the very small decal that we saw before, and here should come out some connection wiring to the engine. As you see, there is a slot here, and in here goes it's made to be placed on top of the pre-molded ECU. Then we have the engine head. This is the engine head. These are not spark plugs or anything, and these are meant to go from the inside where Aoshima wants you to put the exhaust. So the final assembly with the exhaust and turbo is like this, as you can see, and it should go in here. It should go in here. This is the correct setup for the exhaust system. Otherwise, this will be too low on the engine and will not look good, and will not also be correct. This is the exhaust. We have the pop-off here, the turbo goes here, and that's pretty much it. And you have the turbo. This is the turbo. It's a very detailed part. It's quite sad that it's not very visible once in the assembly. I think you can see the back. It's a nice detail. Then we have coolant holder. From the back should come out a pipe, and on top here we have we provided a separate cap that is not here actually. I think I lost it. Then we have this part, the expansion tanks. This goes right on the side frame behind the driver's seat. Battery, we have a standard battery, nothing too fancy, but actually it's there. And we have the additional fuel tank. This shape is made like that because it should just snap in, and here we have part of the frame of the chassis, and here we have our two caps. They just go in there. No way, I cannot. You just go in there, and so you can paint this as you wish. I don't remember if it's silver or aluminum, and this one should be painted in like chrome. Then we have the alternator belt. As you see, it's very thin. It's quite a nice detail. And in this hole goes the alternator. Yes. Very easy. Here we have the spark plugs. I have to spend a couple words about this part. On the top there is a little start of an hole, you will not make it to drill and hole the top, and I made them all connected for an easy to clean and pack and everything. And also applying, you can also apply them like that. If you feel they are a little bit too tall, it's because this part can be removed. If you remove, then cut one by one and keep like the bottom part there. You just drill a little hole on the header of the engine and put one as you wish. We provided you 2 sets, so if one breaks, you have your spare one. Same for the clamp for the engine. We provided you 2, so you can feel free to make your test and everything. Then we have here, quite difficult to get. Okay, this is the radiator. We have 2, one in the front, one in the back, and should be always glued like that, with this part connected to the object. One is like that and one is like that. This is the last resin part, is the connection for the spark plug, and it's very accurate. Sorry, it's very accurate. There are also the holes on top, so you can connect your wiring on the top without big problems. It's very small detail, but this will be very visible once you connect everything with your wires. So this is the end of the view of the Tarmac version. Let's put everything to the side and let's start with the gravel one. Okay, for the gravel one, we have a different code. It's TK24042, and when we open, we have the same exact layout. We have the QR code, we have all the parts that we saw before. We have 5 tires and the bottom part, and we always have the bag that is exactly the same and the instruction that is the same, even if we have some differences. We are not including ventilators, but we were including the suspension height setup. So what is different? We have these tires. The tires are gravel tires, and we have 2 rear ones. You see, this is a rear one and this is a front one. We have 3 front one. We got 2 back. They are specular, and we have 3 front one. One of the front one should go a spare tire. We always have specular designs, as you can see. Then we have the main difference is the rims. Rims are different, and we have again 2 back and 3 front ones. They are wider, the back one are wider and the front one are a little thinner. What is different then? We have parts for making the hydrate higher. We have 2 here that are to the back and 2 specular for the front. I want to show you how to use them. They are very easy. They just substitute the kit ones. I think this one is glued. Yes, you just use it as you would use the kit one, and apply the polycaps inside the brake and just glue. Then this one should just be applied onto your model, and we'll add the millimeters required to make it like in gravel version. So for this set is everything, and I thank you a lot, and I hope to see you on the next newsletter when we're going to release some very interesting products. Bye.